Well, usually when you look at a calendar, there's this expectation of just mechanical efficiency, right? Like it's a grid. You stare at those little white boxes waiting to be filled with deadlines and dentist appointments.
Yeah, it feels incredibly cold. It basically just becomes this, container for obligations while we cross off days hoping to survive until the weekend.
Exactly. But what if you stepped back and looked at that grid and suddenly it wasn't a checklist at all? Like, what if your calendar was actually a blueprint for how to serve the human spirit?
That is exactly what we are unpacking today. Welcome to today's deep dive where we are looking into this really fascinating essay by Orrie Karim. It's titled April, a month of service, stewardship, and sovereignty.
Right. And the mission for this deep dive is to see how Kareem's brands, which are Shade Out Shame, Organized Minds, and Zoe May, use April 2026 as a framework. We're exploring how to practically align your own personal and business goals with, real social consciousness.
So as you listen today, really consider how you plan your own month. Are you just sprinting from one task to the next, or is there a larger architecture to your time?
I mean, to really understand Kareem's calendar, we first have to grasp the core philosophy driving these businesses, and it's actually anchored in a specific scripture, right?
Right, Zechariah 6.13. It describes this duality where leadership and service must exist in, perfect harmony. It requires being both the visionary or the king, and the humble servant, the priest.
Oh, wow. So it's like being the king who sits on the throne and the priest at the exact same time.
Exactly. Kareem's brands strive to be what they call temple builders, offering digital spaces specifically designed for mental clarity.
See, my brain immediately applies this to modern corporate roles. Imagine taking, like, the ruthless visionary CEO and the deeply empathetic customer service rep and forcing them to occupy the exact same headspace.
That sounds like a total recipe for a breakdown, honestly.
Totally. I mean, how do you even balance that?
Well, think of it this way. The visionary CEO builds the infrastructure. So that's the actual digital platform itself. That's the king. But the empathetic customer service rep determines how the user actually experiences that platform. That's the priest.
Oh, I see. So the digital space becomes the temple because it's intentionally designed to provide peaceful counsel to the community.
Yeah, rather than just extracting their data or, driving them to doom scroll. Success here isn't a quarterly revenue target. It's the literal restoration of the user.
Okay, so how does that actually map onto the 30 days of April? Because Kareem takes this philosophy and breaks it into 4 distinct pillars.
Right. Compassion, integrity, stewardship, and sovereignty.
But looking at the sources, I really have to push back on the sheer volume here. I mean, under compassion, they observe stress awareness, child abuse prevention, and autism acceptance all around April 2nd.
And it doesn't stop there.
Exactly. Integrity brings in Volunteer Week and Library Week. Then Stewardship tackles Earth Day on the 22nd, World Health Day on the 7th, and World Malaria Day on the 25th.
Plus sovereignty, which respects diverse faiths like Easter on April 5th and the start of Eid al-Fitr on the 18th, while also celebrating World Art Day and International Jazz Day.
Wait, hold on. Animal care, global trauma, and International Jazz Day in 1 month. How does a brand authentically champion such wildly different things without completely losing its focus?
It sounds chaotic, I know, but for Kareem, these aren't just disconnected causes thrown on a marketing wall. They are all interconnected expressions of universal well-being and human dignity.
But how? I mean, digital-first strategies sound great in a press release, but what does that actually look like for the user? How do you functionally connect child abuse prevention to jazz music without it feeling, shallow?
That is where the second pillar, integrity, really comes into play. Kareem operates on this core belief that education is a prerequisite for restoration.
Okay, so the brands function as educational hubs.
Exactly. For the heavy topics like child abuse prevention or malaria awareness, the digital spaces provide concrete resources, learning modules, and mental health tools.
Right, giving them actual support.
Yes. And then, under the sovereignty pillar, days like International Jazz Day or World Art Day are celebrated as expressions of divine harmony and human triumph.
Oh, I get it. So you use the digital space to educate on the really heavy realities of the world, and then you use art and music to provide that restorative balance.
Precisely. The platform educates the mind and then restores the spirit. The king builds the hub for the hard truths, and the priest offers the jazz music as a salve.
That is fascinating. So structuring a business or even your own life around compassion, integrity, stewardship, and sovereignty ensures your work is actually anchored in truth. It's not just the pursuit of profit.
It totally changes the calendar from a mechanical grid into a really meaningful narrative of what you actually value.
Which brings us right back to that grid of little white boxes we talked about at the very beginning. As Karim states, education is a prerequisite for restoration.
Such a powerful quote.
It really is. So look at your own life or your community today as you stare down your own calendar. What is the specific piece of knowledge you are missing? What do you need to learn that is currently blocking your own restoration?